Chapter 4. A little knowledge that acts is worth infinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. Khalil Gibran. Knowledge brings change. Relate to others as they be, not how you wish they would be. Try to be sensitive to your child's perspective. What you consider to be efficient and practical may make your child feel he isn't special or loved. Florence Littauer, from the book Personality Plus for Parents. Now, don't we all look at that comment and think, well, duh, of course that's the best way to parent? But what exactly does that mean? It's not a blanket statement for all children alike. One child responds to this, the other responds to that, and we respond to something else. So being sensitive is not so simple. You think you're being incredibly delicate, and the next thing you're being told you're cruel. Here, certainly the old phrase, one man's meat is another man's poison, fits perfectly. The good news is, I reckon, that the only thing separating us from being exceptionally insightful parents is some education. It's almost always education that separates us. We do better if we knew how to do better. Just show me the way and I'm there, with bells on, right? There are a few things I have learned to do to facilitate this part of the journey in parenthood. Figure me out first. When I understand and appreciate me, I can find a way to truly recognize the value of others without feeling threatened by them in any way. Learn how to identify other personalities. If I've figured me out, but I can't figure you out, where does that leave me? Alone with me? Nice, but not exactly first prize in relationship building. And continue learning and practice purposefully to meet your needs and mine in an approach best suited to both our personality types. About 2,500 years ago, Hippocrates, a medical philosopher, described 4 distinct aspects of personalities. Let's take a wee journey through the basics of these 4 different personality types that comprise our beings in various combinations. They are the same in adults as they are for children. Some are get-up-and-go types. They'll run you over if you don't get out of the way. Boss other kids, run the house, and run you too if you give them too much power and permission to do so. They'll always play to win, never take no for an answer, exhaust you and throw things if they're losing it. Then some are, we can't go yet, I have to finish what I've started types. They're the children who like things in certain order, won't leave in dirty clothing, close every door, put on every lid, and lose it if you don't do the same. Dramatically sensitive, prone to sulking, like their schedules in order to be maintained around them, generally bright and deeply analytical. They also intensely appreciate music, have lots of information on practically anything, and love putting things together. Now, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. Let me introduce the newest center of attention on the block, the where's the party type children. They'll take on tasks and forget they took them on, be the life of the party, make everything playtime and have fun in puddles or pasta makes little difference to them. They're quick to change their minds and forget why they changed it a moment later, laugh most things off and move on to the next game. The last personality type I'd like to mention is the child who goes to get dressed, and when you run in to check on him, he's got pants on if you're lucky, and playing with a toy. He'll meander to the car when you're rushing out the door, be overwhelmed in crowds, and often prefer their own company and entertain themselves when others would be crying boredom. They run from conflict, are not good decision makers, and prefer a good nap to almost anything. With all these types, you've probably recognized aspects of your child in here somewhere. They're more likely a combination of 2 with supporting features from a third type. Maybe they get all fired up to do something, go running off to prepare, and when you search, you'll find them playing with an imaginary friend, merrily chatting to sweet thin air. Or possibly they like to be neat and tidy and will happily spend all day rescuing their room from the hurricane that occasionally blows through it, but forget to eat in the process. There are a multitude of books available and studies done on personality types. Almost all of them contain 4 main personalities, with combination options too. One of the books I've encountered, genuinely benefited from, and enjoyed reading is Florence Littauer's book, Personality Plus for Children. I encourage you to find a copy and do the personality profile at the beginning of the book for each of your children, and most importantly, for yourself, and then take your time and journey through her insights and use what is helpful for you to grow your ability to love and parent your children in the best way suited to their needs. I remember going through the personality profile and whipping through the first 20 because those were all the strengths. Sure do love my strengths, don't we all? Then I started the second 20 and couldn't choose answers. I was like, hold on a second, that's a weakness? You'll see. Stick around and enjoy the process. It's a journey in itself. I would say the weaknesses are actually areas of potential refinement, and I encourage you to be loving but honest with yourself. It leads to a greater insight and an evolved sensitivity. I learned that my son and I have an almost identical personality base, personality profile-wise, but we manifest our personalities differently because we have different supporting features. It's been such a tremendous tool to have on board when it comes to parenting, because I can understand his experience of certain events to a large extent and then help him through it or enjoy it with him in a more supportive way. Both of us are one-on-one type people. We both love bonding and sharing time with people we cherish. We can survive crowds too, but where it takes him his own time to accustom to group and crowd dynamics, I have grown to be able to include groups and crowds in my zone of comfortable experience, most of the time. We're both deeply sensitive people, and I have spent a lot of time aching at his hurt, but I completely identify with it, and I've been able to give him exactly the support he needs, because I know what support I need. There is another aspect to understanding ourselves and our children that has so much value. You see, what we've chatted about here is the personality, the way we are socially, and how we interact with each other, and being sensitive to each other's personalities goes a long way to improving relationships. However, there are also supporting features to the personality that contain our fears, our ambitions, the inclinations that are specific to each of us, the tools we have been given to move through the journey of our lives with, and more. Our personality will pretty much remain similar throughout our lives, but what drives us changes. Where we are in our own potential strengths changes, and so the way we be and do in the world changes. I have called this the human dynamic of ourselves, because it relies on the fact that even though we are ingrained with certain potentials, we are fluid and changing all the time. And when we gain insight to our own potential or that of our children, how much more so can we be supportive of the better way forward? And how much more so can we be supportive of each other on a day-to-day basis? Starting with learning to identify the personality is a great place to start, though, definitely. To access that deeper information takes more than personality profiling. It is the profiling we find available through a host of observations that I encourage you to pursue with an open mind. I was very skeptical of these modalities originally, and found that if you work with people who are professional about these analyses and not prognosticative, predictive of the future, the insights are invaluable to assist with improving relationships and encouraging each other in line with our specific needs. The assessment should be used as an understanding of what makes us up and what drives us, and when used in conjunction with the understanding of our and our children's personalities will be so useful. These assessments can be found in numeric observations of people's potential, numerology, astrological charts, facial profiling. The list goes on, but the most important thing I can stress is to make sure the person offering you the insights is clinical about what they're doing and offering insights to assist in the understanding of the self. Truthfully, you can learn about these avenues of understanding yourself and others on your own. There are a wealth of books to use to do so, seminars to attend, and the internet is a fantastic tool in this regard too. To get back to my son, I've watched when a friend snubs him and walks away, and while other reactions might be to miss the snub completely, turn and rush off to play elsewhere, or get angry and indignant, his reaction, as mine was when I was younger, is to live some heartbreak, and I've been able to hold him and whisper, "You are so special, and I love you so much. I'll be so lucky if you do something with me. You wanna?" Knowing that his hurt would shift as mine would have if I had heard those words in that place of rejection. As he matures, he'll learn from me that his innate value is not affected by opinion or rejection, because they are both just offerings of people with whom we don't gel. Bless them and move on, carrying your core value with you to offer to others. When we go shopping together, he loves to be in the trolley and takes full part of the speed shop I do. But when we drive, although he enjoys going speeding sometimes, he often reminds me gently to please remember to go slowly over the bumps, the speed bumps, whereas I would be, let's say, assertive about my needs, and others may enjoy the bumps and some might not even notice them. But oh, we love to party together, and we share a deep-rooted appreciation for fine music of all genres, from rhythm to opera and back again. He loves dancing in my arms through the house or swaying with his eyes closed sometimes, just appreciating the music and the moment, as I do, and often when he's settling down to a nap on my bed, he'll ask for his favorite music of the day to fall asleep to. There are so many stories. I could go on, and I'm sure you have memories we could laugh all night about that characterize your child completely. Maybe write some of them here to remind you as they grow and we forget.